This week on Amazingly Terrible, we're watching Street Sharks, episode 40, Shark-apolypse Now.
There we go.
Shark Attack.
Oh, fuck. I screwed you up. Nice. You're listening to Amazingly Terrible. You ever wonder about old cartoons? Well, too bad, because that's what we're talking about today.
Yeah.
My name's Adam.
I continue to be Matt.
My name's David.
Excellent, boys.
Unbroken streak, everybody. Oh, wait, no, shit, sometimes I'm Philip.
Philip J. Matt.
Philip J. Matt. Gentlemen, I have a public service announcement. Don't have kids.
Don't worry. I'm one step ahead of you, buddy.
Snip, snip. Earlier this week, my dearest, darling daughter was upset because crying produces tears, and that made her cry.
Wow.
Yeah.
That positive feedback loop must have been
yeah.
a hell of a thing to try to break.
I hooked her up to the outlet and like generated energy back into the net.
Did you?
Nice. Yeah. Because
That's good.
She was just radiating pure energy from the cyclical nature of her emotional state.
Yeah. It happens, I guess.
It's fine. It's normal stuff. She just doesn't want to go to bed. And so bedtime takes an hour and a half on the outside.
Honestly, I totally get that. I don't want to go to bed either. Usually my bedtime takes like 4 hours to happen, so just waste so much time sleeping, you know? You could be doing other things.
I completely agree. Do you ever read Beggars in Spain?
Beggars in Spain? No, I have not.
Okay. It's about people who are genetically engineered not to sleep.
Oh, nice. I have not read the book. There's another like science fiction book that, God, I'm gonna butcher this because I have no idea what the name of it is now. But the storyline is basically there's a kid that cannot sleep, and instead he has like waking hallucinations, but the hallucinations become real. He doesn't actually fall asleep, but the things that he would dream about pop into existence.
Okay.
And his best friend discovers this, and they're like creative writing together, and like they're writing these like weird science fiction type books, and it turns into this like big adventure in suburbia, and then it winds up culminating in the U.S. government discovering the kid that can't sleep, kidnapping him, and then synthesizing drugs from the kid, basically, that allows people to function without sleep.
Cool.
Yeah.
That seems... You'd think they'd be more interested in the he can spontaneously create things with his mind power.
Yeah.
Exactly. The not sleeping part.
Well, this kind of sounds like a young adult novel.
Well, that's...
I'm pretty sure it is.
That's all Adam reads. That's his reading level.
Hey, it says adult in the title.
Adam had to quit reading at like book 5 of Harry Potter because he couldn't understand the later books.
That's right. As soon as it became about the order of the Pihionics.
Couldn't follow it. Got complicated.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I watch the movies.
Yeah.
But I have to watch them muted, otherwise I can't really follow. So I make up my own story.
Yeah. In a way, you are that kid. You know?
Exactly.
You're up at like 3 a.m., not able to sleep, furiously masturbating and mouthing your own plot line to Star Trek.
That's why I love Star Trek so much.
They do spend a lot of time talking. You could really like invent a lot.
That's true. That is true.
Mm-hmm.
The newer Star Trek, not so much. There's a lot more action in the newer Star Trek. But, you know, I tend to like the more classic ones.
It wasn't because the talk is cheap on TV, and that was what they had budget for.
No, absolutely not. That's not what it was at all.
Yeah.
Because they made 26 episodes a season and had to fill time.
Their production schedule must have been insane.
Yeah. I've actually, like, recently I have been lamenting a lot by the fact that television shows that are produced by, like, Netflix and Hulu and all those companies, they all tend to be, like, 10 episodes or 13 episodes a season. And in my mind, I'm always like, back in my day, there used to be 26 episodes a season. And then, like, I do sit down and think about it. I was like, those people probably didn't see their families for, like, half the year because of the production schedule.
If you really start looking at, like, the last episode of the season, that's when everyone gets new haircuts because that's actually the start of the new production's schedule.
So it just like constantly feeds into itself, so nobody gets
Yeah,
to see
yeah,
your
yeah.
family ever.
It's like
Yeah.
part one, where the part two is the first episode of the next season. Is
I always wondered with that show is like they're always like, oh yeah, then they this actor and that actor became directors, and they just started directing episodes. I'm like, how? Like, how did they like? Isn't that a coveted position? And then you start to realize, no, like they were desperate to get somebody to direct this shit.
well,
they had hundreds
Yeah,
of
that's
episodes.
actually what I was going to say. And they just had like all these people that are there, and they've been watching the director for like months on end, and they're probably like, "Yeah, I can do that. Sure, you need me to do that?
Right,
I'll
yeah.
do that. No problem."
yeah, television and movies are different.
No, I do love the fact that Jonathan Frakes is still directing like a good portion of the new Star Trek that's coming out nowadays, and you can always tell when he's actually directing Star Trek because you see like all the little tricks that he incorporated in previous seasons that he used to shoot.
Little Frakesisms.
Little Frakesisms, yeah.
Freaks and Frakes, I call them.
It's really weird. They tend to bring him in when they need some sort of like emotional story arc for characters that you have no emotional connection with.
Okay,
Because there's so limited amount of time. When you only have 10 episodes, they don't have quite as much character development as they did in like previous seasons where they had 26 episodes.
They bring him if they bring him in because he breathes life into robots.
I really think
like
they bring him in because like every other director's like, why would I try this? This is stupid. And he's just like, I'll do it. I got it. Hold my frakes.
I'm a director. Hold my Frakes. He's always struck me as being a fairly decent dude.
Oh no, yeah. Every time I really get the feeling that he really is like the part of the heart and soul of Star Trek: The Next Generation. Was able to like, keep a lot of the cast together, much like the guy that played Quark in Deep Space Nine, Armin Shimmerman. He was actually
the heart.
Yeah, everybody loved hanging out with him, and he always like kept the crew together and got everybody like geared up and pumped up. I feel like Frakes did the same thing.
Do you think that was his agreement, though? Is like, yeah. I'll hold the show together, but you need to write my character to be a despicable fucking mass murderer.
Mass murderer and a horrible stereotype.
Yeah, I want to be a horrible, racist, abysmal stereotype of a person
that commits war crimes every other episode. And everybody just thinks it's lovable old me.
Yeah, and no one ever talks about it. All right, so we should talk about some of these street sharks.
Should we, or should we talk about our week a little bit more? How was your week, David?
It's okay.
Perfect. On to Street Sharks.
Okay,
Right.
well, I'm glad we cleared that up. How was your week, Adam?
Oh, it was fun. It was fun. I'm still recovering from COVID, dear listeners. If I sound a little bit off, it's because I'm still a bit recovering from that. I'm still like a little snuffed up and like coughing every now and again. But for the most part, I'm pretty good. This week was not too bad. You had it worse than all of us because you had it on the first round before there were even vaccines for it. So
I don't know if it was worse, but it was not a fun time. I would not recommend it.
Yeah.
It was months really before I felt like I could breathe fully again.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The thing that bugged me the most was I lost my sense of taste, and it's like just now coming back.
Just think of it as an excuse to eat really cheap food, like all the places you'd like. I wouldn't eat there. It looks like the food is like rotten. You're like, go eat there now.
So that I'm just puking my guts out instead of actually like tasting the food.
Oh, right. Okay.
It's no bad.
I assumed that you had one of those stomachs that could eat anything.
You know that is not true.
Well, I assumed that you had one stomach that was like that, and then 6 other stomachs.
They just constantly roiled and caused me pain and vomited everything out. Yeah.
It's World War stomach down there. Did I say stomachs or toilets?
You said stomachs.
Oh,
you mean toilets?
Good. No. Yeah. You have 7 toilets?
I'm rich, bitch. Yeah. It's not even that I have 7 bathrooms. I just have 7 toilets around the house.
Yeah.
I'm rich.
It's like a Pittsburgh or a Philadelphia toilet. It's that the toilet they used to have in really old houses in that area where it was like
It's like in the kitchen.
No, it'd be in the basement. and there would be
yeah.
nothing around it.
Yeah.
Like in the middle of the basement, just
Yeah.
a working
Just
toilet.
open air.
Yeah, that's how you kind of like. That's like kind of a smart move because, like, as an adult man now, I'm like, oh, I desperately want a space in which I can just be alone. And if you were like, hey, this entire room is my bathroom, no one's gonna come down there.
Be like, it sounds like you're playing foosball. No, I'm taking a shit.
No, it's pooping, pooping, like that.
Always talking about poop on this show.
That's not true. Sometimes we talk about urine. Okay, should we talk about some sharks that live in the street?
Yeah, let's do this thing. Street sharks.
Street sharks.
And not a shameless ripoff of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles at all.
No, exactly a shameless ripoff of Teenage Ninja Turtles. Like a deliberate. It was produced by Deke and
Of course.
Bonbot Entertainment.
Bonbot.
Yeah, it ran from 1994 to 97.
Nice, nice.
It was created by David Siegel and Joe Galliani. No, Galliani? Galliani? And it was part of the Bonbot Amazing Adventure programming block until it moved to ABC for the final season.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so it's that's probably when we saw it.
Yeah.
If you saw it.
I do remember seeing it when I was a kid, but I also remember not being really enthralled by it, and not really like taking the time to like seek it out or put it on my regular rotation of animated shows that I watch. So
I think we were a little old. I mean, I think by this point,
so.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles were like their star was fading, or they were no longer active in Street Sharks. No, or was it in direct competition with?
I do not remember seeing the show.
I didn't either. I just knew it was a thing. After that final season, it was paired with the Dino Vengers, and the show was retitled Dino Vengers featuring Street Sharks.
Wait, so is there actually 4 seasons of this show?
No, I think the last season was called that, right?
Eventually, that show, the Dino Vengers, was called Extreme Dinosaurs.
Yeah.
So there's a long history of name changes and transformations for the show.
Yeah, they retooled Dino Vengers to be the Extreme Dinosaurs, and I think they rewrote a portion of that too. But I think the last season of Street Sharks was renamed Dino Vengers and the Street Sharks, right?
Maybe. They were, at that point, seemed to be fixtures in the show.
Yeah.
I didn't know that they had their own show. I thought they were just like, because this is a later episode in the series, that these are just an expanded toy line.
Yeah. This is the Generation 2 toy line.
Like when the Transformers introduced dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Or when the Care Bears introduced non-bears.
Yeah.
Their version of dinosaurs. I would love to see the Care Bear dinosaurs. Those would be amazing.
I'm sure they got those out there somewhere, right?
Well, it's a thing now. TM.
Everybody, quick, get to DeviantArt, start drawing the shit.
Yeah. I want to see them. I want to see them pregnant and and gender bent by tomorrow.
Exactly.
Stat.
The impregnated male dinosaur giving birth to like a horse bear.
Look, it's not so much that I care about Care Bear dinosaurs. I want to see their dicks. I want to see what their dicks look like. DeviantArt, give it to me.
And send that fan art to matt@amazinglyterrible.com.
Oh, no.
So yeah, from what I understand, Extreme Dinosaurs was essentially rewritten. So they took the characters of the Dino Vengers and then rewrote them into their own series. So Extreme Dinosaurs is not going to necessarily follow what we see in Street Sharks.
Maybe. Yeah, I mean, they may have rewritten it a bit. I think it sounded pretty much the same, but I didn't dig real deep into Extreme Dinosaurs because, peek behind the curtain, listeners, I didn't have much time to do this.
No worries. We all have lives.
I don't have a life. I'm just lazy.
Well, the important thing is Extreme Dinosaurs is on our list.
Oh,
it's already
thank
set up
God.
for us to watch it. 52
damn it.
episodes. So
I was just looking to make sure it wasn't on the list.
Oh, this is amazing. I feel like
Nope.
this is like a one stone, two birds kind of thing. Maybe we could get rid of both of them. The premise of the show is that four brothers are transformed by their father's research into human shark hybrids. Jack Bolton was transformed into Ripper, who likes making inventions. Jab used to be Clint Bolton, and he is lazy. That's his chief characteristic. Streets was Bobby Bolton, who says he's a cool ladies' man, but wears rollerblades. And then finally, Coop Bolton was transformed into Big Slamoo.
Big Slamoo.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and I assume that's the name of your dick, right?
For me, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to seem like I'm overcompensating, so I actually, it's
On the bell curve Slamoo.
there we go, yeah. Within a standard deviation, Slamoo.
That's episode title.
Nice.
He's a whale shark who can destroy large areas with a seismic slam. And all of the street sharks seem to have the ability to dive into the earth and swim through it at extreme speeds. Because everything these do is 90s extreme things.
And it seems like their ability to dive through things, it kind of gets superimposed upon any type of surface.
Oh, yeah. They dive through concrete a lot.
And it looks like they dive through metal in the opening sequence.
When convenient, they are able to.
Yeah.
They are also allergic to shirts.
Well, they're allergic to polyester, and back
Yeah.
in this time in the 90s, this was the end of the Clinton era, so we know that everything was a polyester cotton blend, basically. So
Well, they're also allergic to cotton
oh well,
and
that
silk.
explains that.
They're allergic to every
So-
fabric.
So what you're saying is they're running around in like woolen breeches right now, like all their pants are just wool.
Yeah. They combat Dr. Luther Paradigm, who is evil because he wears an eye patch. And unfortunately, the show is dying. And it's being consumed by the Dino Vengers, an IP that producers are trying to grow from this infertile soil.
Well, Dr. Paradigm, wasn't he the one that created the technology that transformed the street sharks?
Yes, he was working with his father and betrayed Dr. Bolton. At this point in the story, Dr. Paradigm has been transformed multiple times, ending in the state where has been injected with iguana DNA.
So we see him in this episode, but in this episode they call him, what, Dr. Iguanoid or something like that?
Yes, Dr. Iguanoid, because apparently previously they were calling him Dr. Paranoid or something like that. And then they started calling him Dr. Iguanoid in this episode. He is insane looking. It's beautiful what they've done to this character.
He looks like a slee stack, and
Yes.
a combination of a slee stack and like one of the apes from Planet of the Apes.
Yeah,
With
he
a
looks
little
like
bit of
with a little
Mumra
cyborg in there.
And a little bit of cyborg, yeah.
Yeah. See, he's a Mumra Slee Stack cyborg, and he still has an eye patch, a metal one. Which, man, if I ever lose an eye, I'm gonna get a sick looking metal eye patch that looks like it's bolted on my face.
Yeah, looks like it's riveted. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Got it.
Nice.
So into the show. First of all, the opening theme sucks.
Half shark, half man, fighting evil, that's the plan. Street Sharks. Street Sharks. Street Sharks.
What do you mean it sucks? It's got late 90s saxophone in there. Come on, man.
The theme song is exactly what you'd expect. It is
Yes.
like on the nose
Street Sharks.
90s theme song
Street Sharks.
in which
Street Sharks.
we learn the most important fact: they bite.
This whole show bites.
Mm-hmm. Reality bites, I heard.
Winona Ryder. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're no Rider bites.
Yep. I mean, if you ask her, she's an actor. She would bite if that was in the script and
Exactly.
she liked the role.
I'm pretty sure she does bite, actually. that Dracula movie she was in?
I heard in the final season of Stranger Things, it's just her biting everybody on the
It's
cast.
just her walking around biting things.
There's so many characters.
People.
Each episode is a different character she bites.
Oh, nice. And in the final episode, she bites one of those dollar store throwing snap things, you know? Little snaps.
The fireworks?
Yeah, the fireworks, like
That
little,
you'd,
little
like-
snaps.
Yeah. That you throw at the ground in front of people.
She bites one and her head explodes. Yeah.
That's an urban myth. Streets and several of the Dino Avengers are essentially getting lunch, extreme style.
And there are hamburgers.
Yeah.
And here's the question I have. Do they
Mhm.
always eat hamburgers? Like the Ninja Turtles always eat pizza?
It's exactly like that.
Okay.
They are very well-rendered, multi-level burgers, which I guess makes sense because their mouths are so tall.
I guess so.
Mm-hmm.
But their mouths are also so big that they can just sort of eat it all in one bite, but instead they're like actually like taking bites out of it.
Taking bites and fiddling
Yeah.
with their straws.
Yeah.
When they arrive at the SS hideout, the team is watching the president sign a biological arms treaty.
With a like nondescript Middle Eastern looking gentleman.
We learn in voiceover that these are all of the biological weapons that exist in the world.
I did have to take a minute to see when this episode came out, though, just to see when it lined up with the Iraq War.
This is pre.
This is after the Gulf War,
Yeah.
before the Iraq War.
The inter-Gulf War period.
Exactly.
Here's the thing, and I hate to say it, but the Street Sharks are clearly Democrats.
Yeah.
Yeah, just in the kinds of things they want to do, the kinds of policy they
I mean,
endorse.
not good Democrats, just
Yeah.
kind of like morons who are like, nah, dude, everybody's got to get along, dude. We all got to love each other.
Right. Those
Without actually like having any policy in mind.
they
or
sound
thinking about
terrible.
anything
These people sound awful.
I'm saying they're more like bliss ninnies than they are like.
Well, I don't know. I mean, they are intimately connected to the government, and we learned that the president has asked the Street Sharks to guard these weapons. They're all being destroyed in a single warehouse.
Why are the Street Sharks living in a sewer if they are working for the president
Right.
and they have that connection to the U.S. military complex where they're working in tandem with the U.S. military? Why aren't they better outfitted?
Right. Why can't they get fucking shirts?
Why can't they get shirts? Yeah.
Yeah.
Or body armor.
Or
like
dental.
anything.
You know? Like, you'd want dental
you'd think
as a
they'd need
human
that.
shark hybrid.
Exactly.
Yeah, you would want dental all the time. They'd be like, "Oh, let us tell about your the government's vision plan." You're like, "Nope, don't care."
No, as sharks, they just continually grow new teeth.
That is true. Yeah.
Yeah,
They just
but
keep cycling through teeth. But
yeah, I mean, thus you're always losing teeth. I'd imagine that you'd want to like go to the dentist because still, as a human, that's got to be a painful process.
yeah, you still want to get like a tooth pulled if it's like gone bad or something like that. I feel like they'd also want to get dental plans for the Dino Avengers too, because it seems like all of the herbivore dinosaurs have sharpened teeth, and that seems not to be right.
They've all filed their teeth down.
Yeah, like Aztec warriors.
At any rate, we cut to the bad guys. These people are called, these velociraptors are called the Raptors.
The
And we
Raptors.
have the leader, Bad Rap, Hex,
Yeah.
and Spitor. And the design of Spitor was particularly disgusting. He has a
Did he ever use the device that's connected to his throat?
You mean the toy that,
Yeah.
that shoots water?
Is it spitting? Does it shoot water? I thought it might have shot like fire or something.
The toy version does. No, he has a bunch of like poisons and
Okay,
toxins and like tubes connected to his face.
gotcha.
And we find Dr. Paradigm is with him, who he is transformed into the sassiest iguana. He sachets around pretty much every scene.
Well, you got to think he's a human that's like newly in a reptile body, so he's probably trying to get used to the tail and like how to walk with the tail.
Oh, you think and you think that would make him like swing his lips?
Kind of like swing his hips around a little
yeah,
bit.
yeah. I mean, that's
exactly.
a good answer, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
have
one
any-
thing.
I don't have any problem with him sashaying around. It's just a really odd choice on the part of the animators.
We haven't seen any other episode. This is the last episode of the entire series. So maybe he sashayed when he was a human too. Who knows?
Right.
It's even worse.
Maybe he just slayed Queen.
Oh.
I do like the fact that he has like the Mumra crest on his belly for some reason.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's going to be some sort of like bio drug harness or something.
I mean, he does. And when I first saw the character, I was like, this looks like the product of like multiple different character designs overlaid over top of each other. I think that's exactly what it is. Like, he's kept all the pieces from his different incarnations as he's transformed into creatures.
Just to continuously identify him as that guy. Yeah.
At any rate, they learn about the arms deal because they are repairing the Dino Avenger ship.
While complaining about how antiquated Dino Avenger technology is.
Right. Really bitching about it.
Because all the Raptors have, like, cybernetic implants, so they seem like, I guess they're supposed to be more technologically advanced because of that.
Sure.
But this begs the question of, why the fuck did the Dino Avengers just abandon their spaceship? 1. 2, why did the U.S. government not immediately jump all over and take the ship for deconstruction? And, I don't know, I don't have a third point. I usually do. But.
I mean, two's good. Two's a lot of points. Anyway, Dr. Paradigm says he has a plan to control aliens that were captured by the government using control chips. That they can use these aliens to steal all these biological weapons.
And it turns out these aliens were actually sent to Earth by the Raptors.
Yes.
Before they came, as a means to experiment to see what the atmosphere would be like and how easily conquerable the planet would be.
Yeah, to see if they could survive. And this reveal means nothing.
It means nothing. They have no means to control them, so why? I guess maybe this was like one of the loose ends they were trying to tie up with the final episode.
Maybe.
Trying to like be like, oh, we have to explain where these aliens came from.
Yeah, and why they look like mutant dinosaur dragons.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're bipedal dragons.
Female bipedal dragons.
Well, one of them is.
But the next scene, like literally like one shot later, the Raptors are calling them aliens again. Despite the fact that they're like biologically mutated dinosaurs, which they have
Raptors.
Like, would probably have special names for. But no, they're just aliens.
Yeah.
Also, why does one of the bad guys have a cybernetic shark fin?
Maybe he added that after he fought the Street Sharks.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he was trying to like adapt to be able to fight them better.
It's an implant to get it to perform better. The president calls the Street Sharks and informs them that the alien base has been broken into, and the Street Sharks split into 2 teams so that they can get to the alien base and to the weapon storage facility. The president says that he will fax them the secret location en route. To which I say,
nice.
How? How are you going to do that?
I'm going to fax this over to your sewer.
It's nice to see some good solid 90s in here, you know? Paradigm succeeds in controlling the aliens and betrays Hex, who's been watching him. And at that moment, SS and DV show up and lose a fight to the aliens.
In like a very weird and spectacular fashion. The sharks themselves wound up creating a giant pit for the bipedal dragons that have wings that could fly to fall in. And somehow it wasn't effective.
Yeah. And they keep saying, like, oh, these aliens are so strong and mighty, despite the fact that, like, the Street Sharks are able to grab the aliens by the tail, whip them around, and smash them into walls. But they lose the fight. In the meantime, Team B breaks into the storage facility, and they find that the biological weapons are just stored in big oil drums.
Big oil drums in a warehouse, and the Street Sharks, who are, again, planned to be here, worked it out with the U.S. military. The whole plan was they were just going to be hanging out with the biological weapons.
Yeah.
And defeat any enemies that might have gotten through multiple layers of security to the point where they'd be fighting next to the biological weapons. Instead of being at the perimeter and working with the human guards, the military that's already there, and trying to coordinate the efforts.
Yeah, well, the human guards are not doing a great job, in which they let like an unmarked van just drive up to the facility and drop a gas grenade on them.
And drop a gas grenade. And then we get the doctor's going to run out of bandages type
Yes,
line.
exactly. They should wake up in a couple hours. No, they're clearly dead. The Raptors arrive in grand fashion, and they fight with SSDV. And
No other security for the biological weapons. No like coded doors. No even like doors to go through. They're all like open archways basically.
yeah.
So
Well, this is
no big deal.
It's Area 51. Like, it's very much an Area 51 out here. Like, just an unsecured warehouse on a military base. One of the Dino Avengers freezes the Raptors with a garage door opener.
Yep. Apropos of nothing.
Yeah.
Yes.
But at that moment, the Paradigm and the aliens arrive, and he reveals that he has some sort of vial of virus that is somehow better than the other biological weapons, and we don't really care about them anymore. Just care about this vial of virus.
And I believe the exact line is, this virus, if it is dropped, will infect everybody within a 100-mile radius of this place.
And it doesn't say he will kill them. It says they will get very sick.
Yes.
So basically he has a cold. The combined SSDV lose the fight to aliens, and Paradigm escapes down an elevator, and the warehouse explodes.
Of course. Apropos of nothing.
Yeah.
Like, again, like, there's no reason for the warehouse to explode. They don't say the reason why. It's just like suddenly, things are rumbling and canisters are falling over. Now it's going to explode.
I'm sure within the logic of this show, pretty much like every warehouse these people have ever been in has exploded.
It's probably exploded.
Yeah, so like they just know warehouses are gonna explode.
And my favorite is the Dino Avengers are like, it's a good thing that all those biological weapons were incinerated and went up in the atmosphere and it's doing God knows what to the rest of the planet.
Despite
we
the
don't
fact
have to
that
worry
we
about it now.
Yeah, despite the fact we see from the explosion like full barrels blown out of this building.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There's still like plenty of intact biological agents.
But yeah, it's another they're not dead line, and we've destroyed all of the biological weapons. The SSDV call the president, and his phone is busy. And we learn that Paradigm is blackmailing the president.
They do show like some sort of passage of time. They said something like, it's been 3 days and the president hasn't gotten back to us.
I think
like
hours. They say hours. There's not a good idea of geography here.
The Sharks hideout is supposed to be in a fake city in California, right?
It seems like, or I got the feeling that it was New Jersey. I got a real Jersey feel,
so?
Yeah.
Well, the Street Sharks do have a very Jersey Shore look about them. So.
They do. At this point, Benz, who I guess is a character, this is really kind of the first we see him very much, has an idea to counteract the mind control chips.
And Benz is human.
Yes.
Yeah. This human guy's trying way too hard. With his,
really is.
Oh my God.
With his grifter hair.
He has grifter hair, exactly.
And,
yes.
and his Bafo slang.
Yeah, and his glasses.
Yeah, he's wearing sunglasses at night.
And it is 90s, so he's got the flannel tied around his waist.
If you were hanging, like, if your crew was a bunch of hybrid humanoid sharks, wouldn't you feel like, I got to step it up? I got to take it up a notch.
No, I would be like, I got to start wearing some like chainmail gauntlets or something.
Right. I would be like, I got to collared shirts. I got to wear the collared shirts.
Maybe like a tie, but like not like a tie, but like a clip-on tie that can like come off real easily, just in case one gets caught in their mouths or something.
Right.
Yeah.
One of them gets caught in one of the transitions of this show.
Apparently, this character is supposed to be like their Tinker Gnome, essentially. He provides them with all the tech. He provides them with all their vehicles. So he's like the engineer.
I like that you say Tinker Gnome like that explains it. Who gets that reference? He's more of a gully dwarf, really. Yes, he is.
We know our audience. It's us.
It's us. the tech support guy, kind of. Apparently, he maintains their vehicles.
And I did do a little bit of Wikipedia dive. Apparently, he is actually immune to the effects of that mutation thing that happened to the sharks.
Yeah, the Bolton device.
The Bolton device, yeah. So apparently, he cannot be mutated as well. So he has kind of a superpower.
Right, because they need him around to solve problems. Because the sharks really don't do much.
They need the human around to do human things, like
Right.
learn, love, respirate,
Commit war crimes.
commit war crimes in the name of shark
And
superiority.
we learned that President Horn has declared martial law and has shut down the internet. And one of my favorite lines, they say, "That doesn't sound like Dave."
That doesn't sound like Dave. Dave wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Not my president.
He would definitely declare martial law, but he would keep the internet on so we'd have something to do.
Yeah, we gotta masturbate.
And they also evacuated the city.
Yes.
Yeah, we find out later. Yeah, he evacuated DC, which seemed to be counter to Dr. Iguanoid's
Plan. Like,
plans.
How is he
Yeah.
blackmailing him now?
Yeah,
I mean, I'm just glad that DC has such a robust traffic system
Yeah.
that would allow a mass evacuation easily.
within 3 hours, while also being under martial law. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Definitely the Metro is going to be able to handle it.
exactly. It's not going to catch on fire
The SSDV sneak into the White House.
through a statue. So they obviously have some sort of secret passage already worked out with the president.
Yes, they have a secret way to get to the president because they come up under the seal.
Yep.
Under the shield in the seal. And they come out and they fight Paradigm and Rex, despite the fact that shouldn't the threat of dropping this vial also work on the Street Sharks the way it worked on the president?
Yeah,
But no.
I think so.
And they are losing until Benz shows up with essentially a bigger transmitter, and the aliens now obey Benz, and they capture Paradigm.
Yes, Benz was able to take over the Manchurian candidate chips that were implanted
Yep.
in these characters.
The aliens are promptly locked up, and they start to use Rex essentially as slave labor, mind-controlled slave labor.
Well, the main character, the main shark, whatever his name is, Jammer, Slammer, Bammer, Rammer, whatever his name is, Streaks,
Ripper.
I don't know, Ripper. Okay, Ripster.
Yeah.
So they realize they have the mind control device over the aliens. Excuse me, and Rex. All the fighting stops, and they say, "What should we do?" And Ripster says, "Oh, I've got a few ideas."
Right.
And we only really see the one idea.
He's
So I'm
picking
assuming-
up trash beside the highway.
Well, no. The one idea for the aliens was just, we're just going to put them back in stasis. I think they cut out the scene where Ripster has a wild orgy with the aliens.
Yeah. Well, they do say one of them is female. Not that you
Exactly.
could tell, because it has a very male morphology.
I'm pretty sure that just sort of piqued Ripster's interest. Or his curiosity.
he
I should say, rather.
clearly he hangs out with a bunch of dudes who can't wear shirts. He clearly likes the male physique.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that.
No. I mean, just bros doing a friendly blow job.
Yeah, it is not homosexual. It's exploring each other's masculinity. That's all it is.
You Jesus. When you're a shark. Well, I mean, there's also just there are no female characters in this show. We're told one of the characters is female, but it's
Yeah, but she's also not really a character. She's a monster, so she doesn't really do anything. So I'm assuming there had to have been some sort of female characters in this at some point in time. We're just not seeing them in this final episode. So
I don't know. It looked like a big sausage party.
while everything's sort of wound down, we do see that Rex is being put to cleaning up garbage off the side of the road using his vibro blades
Right.
that kind of come out of his wrist. And the Raptors show up in the Dino Avenger ship. They essentially teleport, what's his name?
Rex. Hex.
Hex They teleport Hex back into the ship, and you hear the main Raptors say, "Get us out of here. It doesn't matter where. Go to any other galaxy.
Yeah.
The entire universe is there for us to conquer." So here is okay. So that's the episode. That's the
Yeah. They also infer a little bit when they're picking up Hex that he's become
an idiot.
Yeah, he's become mentally handicapped as a result.
yeah. His brain has been scrambled. I think is what they say. Something like that.
Yeah, or
So-
he says IQ scrambled or something like that.
Yeah.
It's a little unclear, but they're trying to infer that maybe he's not all there anymore.
So, I was very disappointed in how the U.S. government / military utilized their resources in this particular endeavor. So,
Again, woefully unprepared. Clearly, we're in a democratic led.
well, and yeah, the president did obviously have like a very southern drawl, so I think he was supposed to be some sort of
He's Clinton.
pseudo character of Clinton.
Yeah, he's
basically.
Clinton, and the military's been neglected in favor of domestic spending, international diplomacy,
And vigilantism.
right?
So here is the next episode that I am going to infer.
Okay, I think this was the last episode, but go
No,
right
this
ahead.
this is the last episode. So I believe like if we take the story just a little bit further to its conclusion, the Raptors basically get off of the planet. They take off to other galaxies, other planets that they easily conquer because they didn't have to run into the street sharks. They start adopting new technology that would make them faster, stronger, better, more capable of licking their own butts. They then come back to Earth in like 20 or 30 years to basically lay waste to everybody that's there.
Mm-hmm.
In the meantime, the president has smartened up, and he has taken Dr. Iguanoid, and much like the Nazi scientists, have given him his own facility with
Right.
an unlimited budget to be able to do whatever he wants to.
They've made pills that make you not have to sleep.
Exactly. That allow you to hallucinate things into reality. And they reverse engineer the chip they get off of Rex or whatever his name was.
Okay.
And then they basically create an entire Manchurian candidate program through the CIA. They start putting those chips first into the street sharks themselves so they could actually control them.
Yes.
Then every other monster that was created by Dr. Iguanoid, and then into the heads of state of other countries.
You would want one in Iguanoid right away.
Oh, yeah, exactly. So essentially, when the Raptors come back, they now have an organized supernatural military force that they have to interact with. And on top of that, there'd be a super soldier program going on where they'd be using Dr. Iguanoid's mutation factors to create, basically taking trained men that actually do know how to fight in combat and turning them into super soldiers, basically. And that is how we get to World of Warhammer and our pseudo-fascist.
The World of Warhammer. Okay. We're going right to the Emperor, right?
Exactly. The Emperor, Chaos Gods, all that, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you had me at the
Not
moment I
saying
realized
liberal.
you're going to talk for another 5 minutes.
The moment I took some time out.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's my whole plan for the next season of Street Sharks that we will write eventually.
I mean,
So-
I honestly like that idea. It's one of those things that, like, it always seems very clear from superheroes that if any villain had the ability to organize anything,
Yes.
it would be completely over.
Yeah.
Like, if any villain had actual project management skills,
Yeah.
the heroes are fucked.
I might be completely wrong, but I feel like that was kind of the primary storyline for like Transformers and for G.I. Joe. The bad guys always came up with plans, and the plans started to fall apart because they basically had really bad managers.
Yes, terrible.
And it was basically only through like the scrappiness and skin of their teeth that the good guys win, because the good guys had no plan or organized means of like fighting back.
Yeah,
It
well, they're
takes
highly
them too
reactive.
long.
That's why, and like,
Exactly.
you know, in these old cartoons, it's much more fun, I'm sure, to write and play the villain because
Yeah,
they're actually doing things.
Well, that was Bruce Campbell's whole thing, right? The reason why Bruce Campbell, in all the B-rated sci-fi movies he was in, he always played the villain because they were fun.
Yeah,
They had better lines. They
they
did
got
stuff.
to do stuff. Why do you think that is? Why is the fantasy essentially that we are inert and we have to, you know, like we're not trying to do anything in the world, and yet I guess it's the fantasy is that we can identify with having nothing going on.
I mean, it's still kind of a little bit of a conservative fantasy too, of like, oh, we're maintaining the status quo by doing nothing,
Oh, right.
and then then when something happens, we basically react to that in order to maintain the status quo. So,
Yeah, I think it's also like there's a leadership lesson there as well, which is like good bosses don't make you do any work.
nice.
Yeah, and evil mismanagers are the ones who are like, no, we have KPIs. We need to meet them.
Why are you not performing at the right time? No, you don't get to take Christmas off. You got to be in here.
But good bosses would be like, yeah, I mean, sure, don't wear clothes. Yeah,
You don't like shirts? You're allergic? Poof.
yeah,
Get rid of them.
yeah. We're Democrats.
I like it. Well, I don't. Well, who cares what you don't like? I care.
David, what did you think of this?
Yeah, what'd you think, David?
David, show it.
Yes. Show us your thoughts.
I don't think I missed much not watching this the first time around.
Oh yeah, no.
I don't know, David. We're watching the last episode. We really can't say. There might be like a rich tapestry leading up to this point.
Well,
I'm worried we're ignoring a little too much.
Yeah.
That's really what it comes down to.
so how worried are you? Are you worried enough to keep this on the list?
Yeah. Are you terrified? I will say I really enjoyed the character design in this show. It's so ghastly. Everything is horrific. The street sharks in particular, the placement of their shoulders and heads just makes it's horrible.
And like their mouths too. Like
Yeah,
I think they always walk around with their mouths open.
Yeah, and
I don't
he's
think I've
huge,
ever seen them
enormous
with their mouths
grins.
closed. Yeah.
Yeah. They're essentially mouth breathers.
The thing that always that strikes me is in recent years there have been plenty of papers that have been published that have proven that hammerhead sharks are actually very fragile, and like they frequently die just from getting caught on accident and like expending too much energy while they're trying to swim around. So they're not an ideal animal to be used for an animal-human hybrid super soldier type thing.
Yeah,
So,
they're not the super predator that we think they are.
exactly.
Well, I think a lot of predators. I mean, don't a lot of predators kind of live on like on the edge? Like they're constantly just putting enough energy into.
Like catch their next prey, basically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
I think
cheetahs are the same way.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that is true. That's the reason why when you see a lot of like the nature documentaries about animals, a lot of times you'll see predators just sort of give up if they have to put in too much effort to get their prey.
Yeah, and that
So-
like 75% of their hunts are unsuccessful or something like
Yeah.
that. Like
Yeah.
most of the time, they're just out dicking around.
Just like with bees.
Yeah,
Like 70% of bees just do nothing. Yeah.
yeah. They don't talk about that much. They're like, oh, the hive is such diligent little workers.
It's
like no.
buzzing. No, they're just fucking around.
There's a lot of dead weight in there.
So another thing about hammerheads is their voices sound exactly like Michelangelo.
They totally sound like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Hammerheads are definitely the party dudes of this shark
nice.
world. There was parts of this that I thought was very fun, just dumb. Like really dumb. Like drive a plot hole, bus through the plot hole.
I think for the most part, it was pretty dumb. This episode also does kind of suffer from the phenomenon that we've seen in a few other episodes where they've crammed like what could have easily been like an hour's worth of plot into 20 minutes because they had to like wrap up so much with this being the last episode. It really seems they just sort of like crammed as much plot as they could together
Yeah.
just to try to like drive things home and have some sort of ending or some sort of like tying up of some loose ends.
Yeah,
So,
there's a lot of real shorthand to get there. It would have been a lot more interesting if we spent more time in the like area where there's martial law and they're in the underground. That would have been more interesting.
Yeah, where their conclusions could be like a little bit more organic when it came to all that. Or like even like showing, oh, the Raptors had to go through some sort of additional security to get to the devastating world-ending weapons that are just sitting in an open warehouse.
Right.
With a screen door that's like half off its hinges. I did not enjoy this that much, but I do have to say I did enjoy it more than like some of the other things we've had to watch. I did like it more than like Strawberry Shortcake and
Okay.
Okay. And like Gundam Seed and like a few of those other
Ooh.
poor shows we've cut
if
off.
we had to watch this or Gundam Seed, tough call.
It is a tough call.
Tough call.
I think I'd still go Street Sharks though, honestly.
Really? Oh, I don't
Yeah.
know. Although I did look at some of the other episode summaries, and there's a lot of like time travel and future alternates of themselves and stuff like that. So I'm sure it was pretty silly.
Yeah. And I'm sure there'd be like a fair amount of like things for us to like make fun of out of all that. I feel like Gundam Seed is really just was a little too banal. So, but
yeah, we were talking a lot about like the architecture and function of the ship.
Yeah.
we got real deep into the mechanics of how they live. They live. My question is, I mean, on that note, I have a lot of questions about the street sharks. Like,
That's
they
true.
go out and get fast food and are not hiding.
No,
one of the
that's the
sharks
thing.
jumps over a vehicle in front of all the other humans.
Yeah.
There's none of the fiction that they need to hide themselves in any way.
Yeah, not like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which is
which is classic superhero trope.
Yeah, which is completely understandable. But that's the reason why I'm like, why the fuck are they living in the sewer? They have no reason to hide. They should be like living in an apartment somewhere, or like even like living in the university that the sewer's attached to.
Get a condo.
Or, yeah,
I got
a
condo with my my 3 other shark brothers.
Go out into the suburbs. What is this, 1997? I'm sure there was plenty of predatory home loans going on at this point in time.
Yeah. Sign
get
up,
yourself a
sign
little
up for a
McMansion.
5-year mortgage.
Yeah, exactly. A ninja mortgage.
Ninja mortgage. Go mortgage, go.
Now, I guess this was actually closer to like the tech boom and bust, or the software boom and bust.
Was this early internet? Was this?
Yeah, this was
bubble?
early internet. I think the first bubble burst in like 99, right? Now, it looks like the tech bubble burst in 2000. So this would have been like at the peak of the tech bubble, not the .com bubble. So
Wow.
You know, I bet the original Street Sharks website was pretty entertaining.
Oh,
I'm sure. I'm sure.
Yeah, I want to see some animated shark gifs.
Well, we were kind of kicking it around a little bit, but that whole 1995 Toy Expo where they had hired Vin Diesel, a very young Vin Diesel, before he got big, to play with Street Shark toys, was like that whole video was pretty special.
Okay,
because
so-
he seemed like he was really into it. He was doing a good job with it.
Yeah, he's a great actor, man. When did the TMT cartoon go off the air? Animated series, which premiered in 1987 and ran for almost a decade. So 97.
Okay, so this would have been direct competition with TMNT.
This would have been right at the end of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that they tried to do this.
Gotcha.
It's interesting. They're not striking when the iron is hot, and they're not. Maybe they're like, we can see they're weakening. It is time for the Street Sharks to rise.
It's like as things are starting to wane, the Street Sharks will take over.
Mattel's toy line numbers are low. We will move in like the sharks we are.
Nice. Oh shit! They made a live-action Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle series.
Dude,
From 1997 to 98 on Fox. I didn't realize they had a live-action TV series.
Yeah,
I thought it was just the movies.
It was ghastly, as I recall.
Was it?
Yeah.
Do we have that on any of our lists?
Please no.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
What you need to do is you need to find the Japanese Ninja Turtles where they all have crystals and can merge into a single being.
and turn into a giant kaiju, basically.
Nice. I want that. I need that in my life.
You can go for that.
So I think we're all voting no.
Yeah, I'm gonna vote no. Unless, Matt, you want to try to convince me that we deserve this punishment or whatever.
Nah.
Yeah, you're talking about those time travel episodes. I thought you were trying to talk us into keeping it.
Yeah?
It's like,
Maybe the president makes better decisions in other parts of the series.
I don't think he does.
So long, Street Sharks. I feel like we should have talked more about Vin Diesel with this, but,
I believe next is Redemption.
Redemption.
Ooh. Matt's got a redemption. What do you want to do, Matt?
So we just got rid of Street Sharks. What's the name of that other thing where they continued the series?
Extreme
with the side
Dinosaurs.
characters?
Oh, yeah, Extreme Dinosaurs.
Let me go take a look at it. I'll take
Extreme Dinosaur. And the best part is, this is like the late 90s. So it should have been Extreme with an X, but it's actually properly spelled. So.
Yeah, it is Extreme.
Extreme.
Extreme. It's correctly spelled Dinosaurs.
How does it have more episodes than the original series?
Than Street Sharks? Maybe it was better written.
His characters are a bit more different.
Yeah. They're a little bit different.
It's interesting. They have 52 episodes, but they ran for 1 year.
The director is named Rich Trueblood.
Oh, I can't do it to True Blood. You know what? I'm going to get rid of Dumb and Dumber.
I didn't even realize they made an animated show.
Me
Dumb and
neither.
Dumber. 13 episodes? Yeah, that was 13 episodes in the mid-90s. That means that it got canceled halfway through its first season.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's gone. It is interesting now. We're definitely now seeing odder numbers, like odder episode totals, as we move further away from the golden syndication period.
So I'm looking at Extreme Dinosaurs right now. And Extreme Dinosaurs came out in 1997. Pretty much immediately after Street Sharks. And they had 52 episodes. They must have been writing episodes while they were winding down Street Sharks.
What? I mean, why do you think they switched over to Dino Avengers? It's an interesting question. Did they know Street Sharks were getting moved off, or were they like, we need to transition people to this new property?
Or was it like all the writers were like, Street Sharks is kind of dumb, but we're really interested in these dinosaur characters.
These very different dinosaur-style characters.
Let us just go ahead and explore this idea.
Oh, we're so excited about it. Dino Avengers is honestly worse than Street Sharks. Street Sharks is at least it's weird, you know?
I mean, Extreme Dinosaurs is really like another dinosaur cartoon.
Yeah. But Street Sharks are honestly, they're sort of bizarre. And
wait, are we changing our mind about this? Do we want to bring it back?
Well, how about this? How would you reboot the series?
Ooh, do we do a dark and gritty reboot? Or do we do an MCU style honest to the source material, but like winking at the fans style Easter egg laden romp?
Well, I think more of the latter, because we really want to make sure that we're capturing the fan base as much as possible from the beginning, because it's not going to be a success without the fan base.
Yeah, we're it.
Us and Vin Diesel, yes.
Yeah.
And I feel like the one thing I would introduce there is that when they did get mutated into sharks, somehow earthworms were involved as well to explain why they could swim through the earth.
Yes. Which seems
that
like,
makes no sense.
Which is another question as to why people haven't figured out where their base is. Like, there's just multiple torn up furrows of concrete leading to this one drainage ditch.
Destroyed infrastructure all around one central point.
Right.
Yeah.
We can't figure this out.
Well, did they continue to live in the sewers and we take away their government connections? Or do we lean into the government connections and give them a real base?
Good question.
I'd do the latter. I'd go MCU style and go to the latter. Give them like a proper base that's actually like, I don't know, in the ocean somewhere, off an oil rig.
I want to see them like during the MAGA years, you know, like their liberal agenda is just, it's under threat.
Well, that's when they have to go underground. That's
Yeah,
when
yeah.
that's when you get to like the Civil War part, you know. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, did the sharks split? They're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, man, this Trump guy, he loves burgers too.
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
The
The younger,
sharks just
the
split.
young Big Shamu is a big MAGA.
Yeah, Big Slamu and
A big
Bender.
Fuck, I
both
said
go-
it wrong. I said the dumbest name and I
Yeah.
said it wrong.
Big Slamu goes to Trump entirely, and then Bender goes as well because he's going to be more pro-business, and his tech company is just starting to take off, and he's,
Yeah.
you know,
It's
got to
gonna be
do what's
more
best
pro
for his
business, and
shareholders.
they use the same tanner.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then the rest of the crew go underground, literally.
Yeah.
Okay, reverse retcon.
We want cartoons 26 hours a day.
Reverse retcon.
So tell me, what is Index 228?
Oh my.
Oh, so close! It is G.I. Joe.
Whoa.
So we get a popular one
nice.
here. But we almost did Freakazoid, which I would have, like, started threatening everybody if I didn't get to do Freakazoid.
I'm excited for G.I. Joe because I think it's going to be terrible.
It is going to be terrible, but it's going to be creatively terrible at the very least. I feel like
It's such the like money sweet spot for the milieu that we've found ourselves in. You know, like that and Transformers. I feel like it doesn't get more on the nose than those two.
well, He-Man, G.I. Joe, Transformers. To me, those are like the big three.
That's
that
the
kind of, like,
triumvirate.
that exists within like the perfect like capitalism, marketing to kids, toy run.
Yeah.
Is like those three. So.
Yeah. All right. I can see it.
Okay, so what episode are we doing of G.I. Joe?
Number 45.
All right. Middle of the run.
Yep.
G.I. Joe, episode 45, Excalibur. G.I. Joe sets up a radar tracking station in England while Storm Shadow finds King Arthur's legendary sword Excalibur at the bottom of a lake and uses its strength to attack the Joes and destroy their station.
Wow.
Nice. All right, so who is the lucky victim for this one?
That's going to Matt.
Woohoo, Matt.
I love G.I. Joe.
Go
as a kid.
Joe!
I really unambiguously loved G.I. Joe as a kid. It was one of the first toys that my mom let me have where the figures had guns. And that was a big deal for me as a little kid. My mom was pretty anti-gun.
I'm sure she had good reason to be.
Well, they're murder machines.
Yeah, I mean, there's that.
Yeah. They are.
I mean, in my household, my dad was pro-gun, so I got
know.
to play with guns a lot when I was a kid.
And how are you now?
I'm indifferent to like the usage of guns around me. However, I am more pro-gun control.
Mm.
I'm pro kids not having to worry about how to apply a tourniquet at school. That's where I'm at.
I'm with you.
So, and I feel like that's easily remedied with some like common sense gun laws, but I know that's not really how the U.S. does things. So on a future episode of Amazingly Terrible, we'll be watching G.I. Joe, episode 45, Excalibur. But next time on Amazingly Terrible, we'll be watching Dino Riders, episode 12, Battle for the Brontosaurus.
I'm Matt.
That's it? We're just going straight to the ending? Wow.
What do we usually do?
We usually like fuck around for another half an hour. Then I have to cut out.
Okay, we can do that. All right. I'm stopping. Okay.
So you've been Matt.
Yeah, you've been at him.
I've been Adam. Okay.
I've also been Adam.
Matt, you tell David. He's been David.
You've been David.
Okay.
Peace out, y'all.
David, say you were. I've been me.
No, I said you were you. I said you've been Matt.
No.
Yeah, I did. God, it's like you don't even listen when I'm saying it's you.
Amazingly Terrible is produced by David and Adam. Music by Josh Woodward. Send your email to monotonouslyterrific@amazinglyterrible.com.
Tears happen.
Is that? Is that what you say during sex?
Yeah. It's all right, baby. It's normal to cry.
That's right. Yeah, tears happen, you know.
And they fortify me. Is there some sort of like shark theme pun I could throw out there?
Well, maybe after we've finished with the summary.
Oh my. Brutal. Nice.